What if the most exhausting conflict in your life is not happening around you, but inside you, and you have been so close to it for so long that you stopped recognizing it as a war? Most people spend their lives managing their external world without ever properly addressing what is happening internally. They solve problems, meet obligations, maintain relationships, and push through resistance, all while a much older conflict runs beneath the surface, consuming energy at a rate they cannot account for. That internal war has many forms. The voice that criticizes every decision the moment it is made. The tension between who you are and who you feel you should be. The guilt about the past and the anxiety about a future that has not arrived. The constant low-grade negotiation between your values and your habits. All of it running simultaneously, all of it costing something. The internal war is not a sign of weakness. It is actually a sign of awareness, a signal that part of you knows something is misaligned and is trying, however loudly, to get your attention. The problem is not that the signal exists. The problem is that most people respond to it with suppression rather than understanding. Suppression is effective in the short term. You push down the doubt, turn up the noise, stay busy enough that the conflict does not get airtime. But suppression is not resolution. The war does not end because you refuse to acknowledge it. It simply moves deeper and emerges in other forms. Chronic irritability, a pervasive sense of emptiness, a recurring anxiety that cannot find a specific target. Resolution requires something harder. Honest engagement. Not to win the internal argument, but to understand what each voice is actually saying. The inner critic is often a frightened protector. The resistance is often a misaligned priority. Shame is often a value that has not been integrated rather than acted on. Think about the last time you felt genuinely peaceful. Not excited, not productive, not stimulated, but at peace. That state is not random. It is almost always the result of a temporary alignment between what you believe, what you want, and what you are actually doing. The war pauses when those three things are pointed in the same direction. Now think about the last time that alignment felt impossible, where the gap between your values and your behavior was wide, where what you were spending your time on bore no resemblance to what you claimed to care about. The internal noise in those moments is not random either. It is the sound of misalignment. The war inside you is most often a war between the self you are performing and the self you actually are. Between the life you have settled into and the one you know on some quiet level you are capable of. That distance between who you are and who you could be is not a measurement of failure. It is a measurement of potential. The question is what you do with it. Begin with what the Stoics called the evening review. Not a harsh self-criticism, but a gentle and honest audit. At the end of each day, ask yourself three things. Where did I act in alignment with who I want to be? Where did I not? And what was the internal story I told myself in those moments? Do not judge the answers. Simply observe them. Patterns will emerge over days and weeks that a single honest question in a single moment could never reveal. And those patterns will show you exactly where the war is being fought and what would need to change for a genuine ceasefire. The second practice is simpler and harder simultaneously. Sit in silence for 10 minutes without input of any kind. No phone, no music, no podcast. Just you and whatever surfaces. What comes up in those minutes is what has been waiting for your attention. Most people never hear it because they never stop long enough to listen. Start small. Start honestly. The internal war does not end because you declared victory. It ends because you stopped needing to fight yourself. The peace you are looking for is not a circumstance away. It is not waiting for the problem to be solved, the relationship to heal, or the goal to be reached. It is available in the degree to which you are honest with yourself about who you are and what you actually need. The war inside you did not begin all at once, and it will not end all at once. But it loses power every time you choose understanding over suppression, every time you act from your actual values rather than your performed ones, every time you make a decision that your future self will recognize as true. Make peace with the war, not by surrendering, but by listening. What it has been trying to tell you is the thing you most need to hear. That's a wrap. That's real. That's life. Stick to the Script podcast. Follow, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.